Get ready. Get set. And hold on. It is time for the Mouth of Matuszak. And I'm your host, Paul-Gregory Matuszak. For this Tuesday, August 19th, 2014.
Mr. America, look what you've done.
Yeah, looking at the country is not what I intended. Gotta start to make a change before the never-ending story of a failed nation, one straight out of luck. Like $1 million Tyler Perry movies, you suck. All you little have life, you're still selfish and want more voting in your self-interest now instead of the core principles that made this country both honest and true. Free to speak, worship, pursuit of your happiness too. With all the money you fly, you gon' be needing a big freeze. Hate the size of the Fed like Jesus hated the fig tree. As the spending goes up, you gotta borrow some more. Borrowing from the Chinese like, oh my lord. Instead you just tax more, you're increasing the size of the federal government. Yeah, the Georgia surprise. You'll be done like Detroit, man, no you ain't coming back. Forget it, I'm out, I'm muzzle loading.
Mr. America, look what you've done. You trade your liberty and sovereignty for lies and promises. Mr. America, don't you run away. You pick up pieces up and face the problems, you'll be great again. I got tired of rolling over in my grave every day, making a monarchy of my beloved US of A. You little glitches need reminding of what we were before, and the sits that led us up to revolutionary war. High taxes to the throne without a voice of our own. Rule top down from the crime we wanted left alone. Oh, y'all so soft, you're taking it year after year. We were fighting red coats while we're brewing our beer. Now I'm drinking, spitting ciphers through a grill made of wood. That's how it all went down in G-Dub's neighborhood. Packing cannon balls like powder hammers with cock, lock, click, clack. The loss of backs like the attack us like that. The chicken littles who don't know me, listen, don't let it twist. We kick the A's of the B's for much less than this. So don't deny the historical climbing out of the mud. Follow me, believe the screed, plant the seeds and be free. America, look what you've done. You trade your liberty and sovereignty for lies and promises. Mr. America, don't you run away. You pick up pieces up and face the problems, you'll be great again.
On the woman at 85 when it's really at 12. Hear me, classes in session, you can't be saved by the bell. What happens when you keep printing more dough? Both parties have gone green like their name was Al Gore. Yeah, but right now you're high. Hey, ain't you big hitter? But now I'm back from the dead. I'm bringing back all my knickers. What knickers? No, it's okay. I can say knickers because I wear knickers. Man, you think I say that? What's wrong with you? I'm just talking about my show back then. I rock with my shoe. But let's go back to the first point I was trying to make. The degradation of our freedoms and our country at stake. The government's getting grand while private sector grows smaller. Pour one out for your homies, cause here comes the cold water. Unemployment still rising, our debt's growing still. The only change you're gonna get is being left with the bill.
Mr. America, look what you've done. You trade your liberty and sovereignty for lies and promises. Mr. America, don't you run away. You pick up pieces up and face the problems, you'll be great again. Mr. America, whoa, whoa. Mr. America, whoa, whoa.
Yeah! Powdered Zombies. Can't get enough of that song by Chris Lash and Steve Crowder. A couple years old and still going strong around my household anyway. Great tune. Sends a pretty good message out there too. So, what we got going on? Let's all check the news. Hey, flip around, and what do we see? Oh, it's a replay of the frickin' LA riots, isn't it? You know, turn every channel, turn every station, and what do you see? More Ferguson, Missouri. Why? Why? Because they're trying to push this huge distraction politics type issue, and they're using the whole racism smokescreen. Folks, as far as finding out if there was anything to deal with racism in this shooting, we're just going to have to wait until all the evidence comes in and let the courts decide. They're saying that a grand jury may be convened as early as tomorrow, which is really interesting considering they're saying that the county autopsy results will not be fully available for another 2 weeks. And yesterday, there was another autopsy done on Michael Brown at the request of Governor Jay Nixon of Missouri. They brought in one of the DOJ's top forensic coroners, and he came in and he performed, or she, I don't know the sex of the gender of the individual, but that person came in and conducted an autopsy yesterday. And of course, some of those test results aren't going to come back. The only test results that we've seen released show that Michael Brown was shot at least 6 times, and there's a dispute on the exact number. Twice in the head is confirmed. 4 shots either in the chest or the shoulder, depending on which of the 2 autopsies you look at. And like I said, the county results haven't all been released. Only the private autopsy that was performed by Michael Brown's family was released. And that's the one that kind of points against Michael Brown, saying he must have been doing something bad. But the other information that we have is that Michael Brown was on, he had marijuana, he had THC in his system. So he had used sometime within 24 hours prior to the incident, used heavily, in fact. So we know that. But as far as actual evidence, the way it's stacking up, whether people like it or not, especially the people are trying to push for a racial divide, there's a lot of corroboration out there for the police officer's story. Lots and lots. In fact, there have been more than a dozen witnesses that have come forward and confirmed the officer's reported account. 12, well, more than 12, but 12 confirmed and corroborated witnesses that, like I said, they confirm what the police officer put out. So that doesn't look too good for the pro Michael Brown. Hey, this is a racially motivated shooting by some cop who is racially profiling, blah, blah, blah. That entire narrative seems to be shot to heck by people who were on the ground and actually saw what was going on. So it's looking worse and worse and worse for the race baiters and race mongers, because, well, not only do you have that going on, but the whole protesting the ordeal and how it's being handled is giving cover to the criminal groups who are going in there and doing the looting and the rioting. Last night, 31 more people were arrested for inciting violence. There were more rocks and Molotov cocktails thrown at police officers and National Guard members. And there was more pepper spray used in response. And the National Guard folks, what their main mission has been to guard the police headquarters. They're not actually taking a lead from what the sources on the ground have been relaying to me and others. It's that they're actually protecting the police headquarters to keep the looters and rioters from going after the police HQs while the police are out doing what they're doing to actually do the crowd control. Now, the other thing that's going on is several of the organizers of the peaceful protests are starting to see what's going on here. And there's now been a call put out for all the protesters, the peaceful protesters, to cease their protesting before hours of darkness. And a lot of them have been doing so, but they're pushing for all to do so. Because, again, these criminals are using the peaceful protesters as kind of an obfuscation and a cover. They're doing what Al-Qaeda and the Taliban and such do. They're using innocence as a cover for them to do illegal and criminal activities and hurt people. And, of course, that makes it more difficult for any kind of a response to their criminal and violent activities when you have innocents there and any amount of collateral damage, i.e. you spray the wrong person in the face with pepper spray who's just a peaceful protester because the jackass behind him is throwing rocks through store windows or at police. That makes it look worse for the police officers. So they're using the peaceful people there as pawns. So you want to be a peaceful protester on the side of Michael Brown and his family? Do it during daylight hours when there's a lot less criminal incidents. Keep it peaceful. If you see somebody doing something nasty and bad and violent, get away from them. Get away from him, point your finger at him and say, it's him, he's a bad person. He's part of the problem. We're here doing peaceful protests. Go and arrest this jerk here. He's a criminal. He's somebody who should be arrested. That's what the protesters should be doing. That's kind of what the call has been coming out from some of the organizers on the ground there of the peaceful protests. But they've still been going violent. And I think they had one night where it was semi-peaceful in the past, going on 9 or 10 days now. So this has gotten past the point of ridiculousness. So when is common sense going to prevail? Well, simple. You have to get the criminals off the streets. Peaceful protesting is all fine and dandy. So, responsible people, remember, all it takes for evil to win is when good people stand by and do nothing. So if you see somebody being a jackass and throwing rocks at police, they are not on your side. They're not on the police's side. They're there to cause the very problems that you're protesting against. Do something about it. Just my 2 cents, and there's your Ferguson update for today. As stated, though, we have the feds are involved. The FBI is investigating. The Department of Justice is there at the behest, at the request of Governor Jay Nixon. So they aren't just coming in there and forcing themselves around, as some people have stated. They're actually were invited. But what else is going on in our lovely country?
You don't have a right to know everything in a separation of powers government, my friend. That is the difference between a parliamentary government and a separation of powers government.
However, Miss Eleanor Norton, I am a citizen of a we the people country. We don't have our powers separated from the people. They come from among us, and if we don't like what they're doing, well, we tell them to join the unemployment line when we replace them when their term is up, or if they're too corrupt, we'll get them sometime in the middle. So speaking about all the nice little corruption and stuff that's going on, let's kind of do a recap of what's going on with Governor Perry. Now, Governor Perry was on Eric Erickson's show yesterday. I don't know how many of you listen to Eric Erickson on the radio, but he gave some statements and everything to Eric live online, or live on the air. And Rick Perry's story and his platform has not changed. I won't say it's well rehearsed, so he's not just regurgitating the same talking points, but he's been firm. And this isn't the first attempt of this kind of activity by Rosemary Lehman. She's done this before, but this same kind of tactic is being used all across the U.S., and it's all being used directed at more conservative, more outspoken conservative leaders. And if you look over at redstate.com, Eric Erickson kind of gives a rather detailed list of some of the higher profile cases that are going on and kind of what's going on with them. But this is going on against so many different people. Marsha Blackburn, if you remember her, she's the one who representative who put in the bill trying to give a good amount of funding, the proper amount of funding through rescissions for the border crisis, and she worked pretty heavily with Senator Ted Cruz in drafting some bills there. Well, she's under fire for a similar type of what they call lawfare, where she's having trumped up charges levied against her. They have no intention of actually winning the court cases. It's just the fact that the court case comes up and the person has to show up in court, and they're going to use that to campaign against the person, saying, look, they were tried for this. They're not even going to mention the fact that it was thrown out because of lack of evidence or fabricated evidence, or it was just a completely trumped up charge. They're doing the same thing to Governor Nikki Haley and several other people. Now, that, mind you, that's two females I noticed there, so it's not just males and females, it's all more outspoken conservatives. They've been trying to do the same thing with Governor Scott Walker down in New Mexico. They're trying to do the same thing against Governor Martinez down there. And then, of course, well, I won't call him a conservative, but he is a Republican. But Chris Christie in New Jersey, they've tried to do investigations against him, and although there are some things there that point that he may or may not have been on the periphery, but by and large, most of the evidence shows that he had some people underneath him doing stuff that Christie didn't even like, that may have been corrupt. And Christie himself is, of course, working to drum all that out. But there's been nothing to prove Christie's direct involvement or even indirect involvement, just maybe possible peripheral because he happened to know somebody who was involved. Maybe didn't know they were involved, but knew the person. And then down in Georgia, Nathan Deal, Governor Deal, who's up for re-election, keeps having investigations lobbied against him, and they all come up with nothing, but they still keep coming in. And and they're trying to say that the reason why all the stuff is being dismissed is because of his relationships with the people involved, that they are all worried about their positions. The thing is, all the people on the Ethics Commission were appointed by the previous governor, not by Governor Nathan Deal. So it wasn't Deal that stacked the deck there, so to speak. It was done by his predecessor. So this is this thing going on with Rick Perry. It's not new. It not only is it not new for Rosemary Lehman to be doing this type of activity, the Lush herself. But the Lush, like I said, she's done that in the past, but all she's doing is falling in line and doing the same kind of things that have been done against other prominent and outspoken conservatives, and then, of course, Republicans like Chris Christie. I will not even consider him anywhere near conservative. He's about as conservative as, I don't know, Speaker Boehner or John McCain, but at least he's within a party where that has a lot of conservatives in it. So, as far as things going on with Perry, again, this is looking more and more like it's a load of crap. And you have a bunch of people on the other side of the aisle who are even saying it looks like crap. So, what's going on with that? Well, Rick Perry is trying to get this expedited. He's not trying to get out of it, so to speak, but he is trying to expedite this within the courts because he wants it to go through the courts if it's going to go, and get it settled as soon as possible. Of course he does. Whether he's innocent or guilty, I'd want the same thing if I were in office, because if this thing is ongoing while I'm trying to run a campaign, it's going to do nothing but get in the way of the campaign. So if he's found guilty, well, then that keeps people from wasting their money and him from wasting his funding running on the campaign. If he's innocent, which he more than likely is, because like I said, this is a load of crap. But when he's found innocent or the case is dismissed or what have you, well, hopefully Hopefully it's not dismissed, because if it's just dismissed,